Hey guys, Happy New Year. Oh man, I don't know about you, but my Christmas break went a little too fast. I woke up this morning like, oh my gosh, it's 5:30. But we're gonna dive right in. So we're looking at two-step equations today. And I have a little manual that I'm gonna show you here. Which is really just my own description of how I like to solve two-step equations, okay? Now I'm gonna read them to you and show you an example at the same time before I do a little bit faster. So I promise they will go faster than this, okay? So the first thing I would like to do when I solve these problems is to box the variable and its closest operation. Now, first of all, what makes this a two-step equation is the fact that there are two operations here. I see multiplication and I see subtraction. There are two operations, zoomed in, two operations, two-step equation. Makes sense, right? So the first decision again is to box the variable and the closest operation. Now, when you think closest operation, in this case, literally the 8 and the x are attached to each other. That's what multiplication looks like in algebra. You could argue, yeah, the -7 looks attached to, but then that 8 would kind of be left while it's attached. I hope maybe this technique doesn't work for you, but it really does work for me to identify what I'm supposed to undo first. Because once you put the box there, you need to undo what's outside of the box first. So in this case, write that. So in this case, what we're going to be undoing first is the subtraction, right? So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. That is my inverse of subtraction. 8x equals 37, okay? So now we're at step 3. Continue with one-step rules, right? Now I say that because we are back to a one-step equation. I've got one inverse left. Do this. And that's all we have to do, right? It's just like before. Now I know it's been 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it's been. It feels like a long time. So I know we're a little bit rusty there too. So again, going pretty slow. We have 8 times x. So the inverse I'm going to use is divide. In this case, divide by 8. I have x equals. More than welcome to use our tool. Now, there's 2 ways you could think about this. 37 over 8 can be thought of as an improper fraction. 8 goes into 37 4 times with 5 out of 8 left over, right? Or you can just go ahead and type in 37 divided by 8 and get the decimal answer to that. All right. Now, again, that's very slow. I'll go a little bit quicker when we do some more examples. So I'm going to call this first official number 1. Let's do another one just like that, but a little bit faster. So we have x over 3 plus 6 equals 3. So if I were to box the variable and its closest operation, it's very clear in this problem that the closest operation is the x over 3 and that the plus 6 is what I need to undo. It probably would make more sense to even start with this one because it is so obvious compared to this one. Your brain can have that little tug of war. So I need to undo what's outside of this box first. My opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. And I'm left with x over 3 equals -3. Okay, remember you're using calculator for that too if you need it. 3 minus 6. Okay, use the tool. So now I need to undo my dividing by 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. And x equals negative 9. Negative 9. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's see. I'm going to do this one. W minus 2 over 5 equals negative 1. So again, if I were to box that variable in its closest operation, in this case, that would be the W minus 2. They are paired together, all being divided by 5, or you could even think of that just in the numerator position, right? So I need to undo what is outside of the box first. So I'm going to undo the dividing by 5. Multiply by 5 on both sides. Cancel them out. W minus 2 is left on the left side, and then negative 5 on the right side. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Oh, W equals negative 3. Okay. Now I'm trying to think here of what I'd like to do. I think I'm going to give you 2 examples now that I'd like you to do on your own and get possible participation points when we meet today. And then these will be the ones, we'll go through them very slowly, make sure you feel good about them, and you guys can start on your, I'm calling it a quick practice today. It really is, I believe 6 problems, 7 maybe. But the first few are all matching, where you're matching the equation with the correct operation to do first. So I'm not even asking you to solve some of them, okay? All right, so here's one I would like you to try. 5 equals x over 2 minus 1. And this one. 9x minus 1, oops, sorry, plus 1 equals 29. Okay. Wait a second. I don't want you guys to have a decimal. Let's do 28. Okay. Now I kind of gave something away here. Both of these are going to have whole number answers. Don't be afraid of any fraction or decimal answers. That was the very first one that I showed you. But when you look at these, I do want you to have whole number answers the first time you try this without me. Okay. If you come to a point where you're not sure, just stop. That would be really good information for me to hear when we are meeting. And I will unshare. There we go. I will see you in a little bit.